Okay,
All right.
so
All right. So action plan. Now
Yeah.
that we kind of have an idea of where we might have dropped the ball, let's put some
yes.
things in place.
Okay. So let's think about what we said we wanted to do. We
Yep.
want to make sure that we have longer text.
Yes. Yeah. So that kids are looking at it not just in isolation. Exactly.
And then it probably needs to be informational since this was an informational example, and that's where they seem to
Definitely.
struggle. And I also noticed that the Lexile level of the text, both texts they struggled with was between 1100 and 1200. So probably need to be somewhere in there.
Yeah. When it was well, the Leaps one was science based, like earth sciencey,
like nature.
So I think like there are some words in here that may be a little out of reach for them, like chlorophyll and all these other words that I probably can't pronounce myself.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be helpful to expose them to more pieces of text like this.
Okay, so I can gather some informational texts that are science based.
Yep.
I think that, like you said, it'll be helpful if they see words that they have never seen before and they have to rely on the text. So I can gather some text like that. And probably, what's today? Today's Monday. We probably want to start this by next. Ooh, what's the turnaround time? When do we want to start this?
At least by next Monday.
Okay, so I'll have this for our Thursday meeting.
Okay.
And then we can have everything ready by next Monday. So I'll have it ready by Thursday, the text.
Perfect. Okay. Yep.
What else do we need? We got to do something different.
Yeah. So I was looking at just my class breakdown and I realized that my second block class, majority of them are pretty proficient in the 6.4 standard in finding context, defining words through context clues. But my third block class, they probably need more direct instruction. So we may need to consider like in what ways can we reloop or reteach in a different way? Like how can we correct some of the things that we have maybe mistaught or add on or enhance their learning? And then for my other class that got it, like what are some small things I can do just to put in so that it's not taking everybody back to square one?
So you're thinking about maybe the use of small groups or maybe using like what would typically be silent reading for maybe a focus do now question so that everybody is not completely pausing, but you're getting that intentional instruction.
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe even as simply as like making our warm-ups for a certain amount of time, maybe a whole week's worth of warm-ups is just built on defining words in context, but with longer passages.
Yeah.
Or maybe even exit tickets being
let's do both. Yeah. I think that's a good idea, especially since L64A is probably going to be slathered on this test, like for the end of grade. So you said create some warm-ups. We can use the text that I bring for those warm-ups. And we can just, on Thursday, we can decide which text is going to be for which day.
Yeah.
And so how long do you think it'll take you to grade your warm-ups? I'm just wondering if you can use some of that data for your small groups after your mini lesson.
I mean, it could either depend on if it's like just a multiple choice question. I can do that while they're in their silent sustained reading, or I can do that while they're working on something else to gather it if we need it right away. And if not, then it could just be a one-day turnaround.
Okay. I'm thinking, I'm just wondering if we can find some sort of way to get immediate responses so that we can craft our small group instruction. So maybe once they're answering, we can go around with the clipboard with a roster and just check to see who has it right. Whoever doesn't have it right can come to our group and we can do some more direct instruction.
Yeah, we can do that, or we can use our sometimes I use the picker things where I just scan it with my phone.
That's a good one too.
And it just collects the data for me, and then I can just pull from there. Perfect.
So I have to just go back to make sure that we're doing things differently. So at first we taught it in short passages. And we didn't really focus on the type of text we were using. This time we're using longer passages,
Right.
informational, scientific, and we are giving them time to do it in the do now. Are we going to maybe go back and re-loop this instruction before we?
Yeah.
How should we do that?
Do you want to do a whole group or do you want to do it?
Let's see what the data.
Yeah. Small group.
Ooh. Well, my data says we need to do whole group, even though a few people know it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it wouldn't hurt for everybody to be re-exposed to it, just because different text comes different skills that you have to employ. So even though they might have matched it with this text, if I throw a different text in front of them, they may struggle. So just keeping it, keep re-looping it wouldn't hurt, even for the kids who got it.
So maybe like an interactive mini lesson?
Yep.
Okay. We can do that. And I think maybe if they hear us doing a think aloud with the text and with the questions, then they can sort of begin to adopt how we're thinking.
Yeah.
Last time I did a mini lesson and you did a mini lesson, my mini lesson did not look like yours. So how are we going to make sure? Because I want those same results too. My mini lesson was way.
So I can pull together a mini lesson since we're going to meet on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then I can model it.
Okay.
For me? Us, yes. Or you can get up and model it, and you can try it.
You can model it for me.
So we'll do some modeling,
Thank you.
Then and I'll include in that mini lesson a think aloud.
That's perfect.
So I'll have that by Thursday. And then when do we want to actually do this with kids? On Monday?
Probably Monday. And then begin those do nows on warm ups on Tuesday after they've received that corrective instruction.
So we want to do Tuesday through Friday do nows?
Yep.
Now, is there I'm just thinking now that so we'll reteach it, we'll give them some more practice throughout the week.
Yeah.
On Friday or that following Monday, I don't know if we want to wait the weekend, but maybe we need to see if it carries over. Do we want to do some sort of mini assessment or larger exit ticket in which we're really seeing whether or not what we put in place is working?
We probably need to do a learn check. Mondays for learn checks. Some kids decide not to come to school, so maybe like that following Tuesday for a learn check or a quiz. 10 questions.
You want to split it up? You do 5 and I do 5. We'll do 2 different
passages. Yeah, 2 passages. Yeah. When do you want to have this created by?
So our timeline is we got a lot going on Thursday.
Yes, we do. I mean, we're going to meet again next Monday.
Yeah, let's do it on Monday.
Next Monday, we'll create that. Okay.
We'll just pull it all together.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to create a PowerPoint presentation based on your mini lesson.
Okay.
Just so that I can make sure that I'm doing the same thing. Do you want me to share that with you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Are we missing anything for this specific standard? Anything else that we could have done?
No, I think we have some good action steps. So I think, thinking about what are we going to put in place to correct what we're seeing happening. I think we've decided we're going to do exit tickets, right? I'm not exit tickets, sorry. We're going to do nows.
With the longer text.
With longer text, and we're going to look at choosing words within the text that we want them to actually have to use other pieces of the text, not just what's in that paragraph, right? So we're going to have our do nows, and we're going to have, before our do nows, we're going to have our mini lesson, which we're modeling our thinking. Then we're going to do our do nows, and then we'll have a learning check. So those are 3 concrete things, but in addition to those things, we're pulling pieces that are higher Lexile level, informational text, and based on the sciences.
I think what's going to change their thinking around L64A is them hearing us do the think aloud, but then every day after the warm up or do now, we can also think that through as well. Yeah. So they have multiple opportunities to hear how this is being thought.
And it would be helpful maybe if the student modeled their thinking instead of us always modeling our thinking. So allowing a student to own the piece and to model their thinking.
what do you think about one day, and you just tell me how you feel about it, if you notice that a lot of kids have it wrong, to call on a kid who has it wrong to model their thinking? Do you think that's not a good
No, I think
idea?
that's a good idea because that way we can see where their thinking like might have gaps in it, and then help them think through that
Yeah,
aloud, and
just
then
ask
other
probing
students will
questions.
also be able to
Yep.
see that thinking.
So how about this? Once we bring all of our things together on Thursday, let's actually create, I guess, exemplars for the do now
Mm-hmm.
and think about what would we do if a student chose B. So we can already have those in the moment corrective items. And then maybe craft some probing questions if most of the kids get it wrong to maybe get them back on track. Yep. Yay, I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I think we'll get some different results.
We better get it.
We better get different results.
All
Awesome.
right.
Yay.
Yay.